is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Move My Way by the Vamps. And we end up cabling this on 4th fret to kind of match the recording. We'll walk through a couple things in root position just in case you don't have a capo. And we'll start off with kind of our intro idea on a G major chord. Normally you do this first finger on the A second, second finger on the low E third, and third finger on the high E third. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now in the recording, it almost sounds like you kind of kill the strings and then do an up, down, up. And then kind of take the pinky and add in the 5th fret on the high E string for another up, down, up. So it's kind of this rest, up, rest, up, down, up, 3, 5, 3, 5, and then kind of a big hit on the G. And you may want to kind of kill the strings. Now another way to play the G major though, if you kind of dig on this, you can put 3rd finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, and kind of work that for your G major. And in general, there's a lot of different strumming options actually you kind of pick through the song. You could work this as kind of a down idea, kind of G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down, and kind of kill it, kind of an idea. There are definitely some spots too where you may want to work just a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So we took the G and just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, maybe down. To kind of accent it, so you may want to work it that way too. There are other spots actually through the tune actually where you may want to play around with a kind of a variation of that, kind of a down, up, down, up, up, down, up. Down, up, 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 down, kind of an idea. And there are definitely some changes into almost like a triplet feel through the tune. And what I mean by that is right now if you're tapping your foot of the beat, we're kind of dividing that beat into 2 parts with our down, down, up, up, down. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a triplet is where you divide that into 3 parts. So I'm kind of going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So there's some places where you may want to accent, and actually this kind of happens on a D chord later. But on the G, just to try that, you'd have down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's kind of a triplet kind of idea as a strum. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So as you're going through it, you can kind of do that down, up, down, up, down, up, and maybe even kind of feel the triplets. You may want to try and switch into that. And then from our intro, then we'll be going into our verse part. And our verse starts on the G major. Kind of hear the bass change to the low E on the 2nd fret F sharp note. And you may want to back that up with a D major chord. And normally you do this first finger on the G second, second finger on the high E second, third finger on the B third. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord and it sounds really happy. And you may also dig on lifting the 2nd finger and making that a D sus2. Or adding in the pinky on the high E third for a D suspended chord and kind of say some stuff around it. Or you could even take that D chord and take your thumb and cover up that low E string on the 2nd fret. And that's called a D slash F sharp, or D major chord with an F sharp in the bass. Or you may want to use a D sus slash F sharp by doing first finger on the low E second, second finger on the G second, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third. So you kind of dig on that for that D change. And then from the D we'd be going to an E minor chord. I normally do this first finger on the A second, second finger on the D second. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord and it sounds really sad. And you may also dig on putting third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, making that an E minor 7. And then from the E minor, we go to a C major chord. Normally you do this first finger on the B 1st fret, second finger on the D 2nd fret, third finger on the A 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, the beautiful sound of the C major. Now on the C, you may want to think about lifting the first finger, making it C major 7, or you could add in the pinky on the B third for C major 9 and kind of say some stuff around that. Or another way to play C major 9 is to do first finger on the D second, second finger on the A third, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, kind of working that for the C major. And then we kind of do a C with our whole pattern, and then you hear this cool little D idea where you can do the C with a down, and then go to the D for a up, 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 down. It's kind of that last D, or you could just fill that in with a D chord. So all the way through the verse with our strum pattern, we have the G, D slash F sharp, slash F sharp, E minor, going into our pre-chorus. Our pre-chorus starts on the E minor, then we do more E minor, then we go to C, another C, then we go to G, another G, and then we go to a D, and another D. And then from there, we'll be going into our chorus part. In our chorus, we got our C major, another C, parts until we get to our bridge part. And on our bridge, there's kind of this big stop actually. You may want to do just a big C chord, and a big E minor chord, and then we go back to C, and then a slightly quicker D, and then a G major chord. And you could fill that in with the strum patterns we were talking about. But at that time, it almost, especially because of the drums and the percussion in the background, it almost feels like a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're dividing that beat into two parts, so they're down, down, up, up, down, up. Kind of 1, 2, 1, 2. That's called an eighth note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into four parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is on the C, if you try just doing it down for four, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you'd be doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you do it down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the third beat, you do it up on 2, down on 3. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, down, 1 up, down, 1 up, down. And then on the last beat, we'd be going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, 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 down. So all together, you got down, down, down. Kind of work it that way. You can do the C with the whole pattern, E minor with the whole pattern, and then we kind of go to a C for just the down, 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 up, D for the down, 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 up, and the G for the down, 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 up. So you kind of dig on working that as that change, or you almost kind of hear, especially on the C and D, where it turns almost into a reggae feel. And in a reggae feel, what you do is kind of a bass note. On the C, you'd have the A for the bass, and then you do a down up, and then you kind of kill the strings, and then do another down. So C bass, down, up, kill it, down, kill it, bass, down, up, kill it, down, kill it. So when we come in on that C and D, it almost feels like a reggae feel, kind of the C with an A bass, D with a D bass, and then going back into the G, and you can even kind of keep that reggae feel going through that part. So it's a little weird timing wise. You may want to grab one thing and kind of run with it. But you, through that second time through the bridge, you have the C, the 16th idea, E minor, the 16th idea, and then you may want to switch to reggae feel. D, G, G. Maybe you're down and kind of kill it, just to kind of build up some accents. Now the weird part is to play along with the Vamps, instead of starting on a G chord, they're starting on a B major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and if you put the capo on 4th fret, then now your G major is really a B major chord, and your D is really an F sharp major, and your E minor is really a G sharp minor, and your C is really an E major chord. But if just to take it through that intro, you may want to kind of just work that up down up idea, kind of kill it up down, up rest 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 up down, up down. Or you could try the strum pattern, kind of working that down, down, up down with that variation. Or you may want to add more bass notes actually, and you could word that as kind of a bass, down, up, down, or a bass, up, down on the G chord. And on the G you'd have low E for the bass, on the D/F sharp you'd have low E for the bass, on the D you'd have the D for the bass, on the E minor you'd have low E for the bass, and on the C you'd have an A for the bass. So we kind of dig in adding some basses. You could even take that rest up, down, up and make it a bass, up, down, up, kind of a bass, up, down, up, bass, up, down, bass, up, down, bass, up, down, bass, up, down, bass, up, down. Kind of an idea. Or just kind of feeling that bass down, up, or the bass up, down, down. And then from there, then we'll be going into our verse part. So we tried that with a bass down, up, down. We have a G, D slash F sharp. And we're going into our chorus. So we have our C, minor, C, into our next verse. So our G, slash F sharp, C, C, D, G, D slash F sharp. Into our pre-chorus part. And at the very end of the pre-chorus, you may want to do that first D as a down, and then kind of kill it, and then come in with the triplet idea. The 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You build up a lot of energy to go into that next chorus. So our E minor, C, G, D, kill it, and then D, triplet, 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 triplet. To our next chorus, and our C, minor, C, G, C, minor, our bridge part. And you may dig on kind of just working that as a down idea. That C, E minor, C, D, G, or you may dig on the 16th idea. And if you dig on the basses too, you may want to try bass, down, down, up, down, up, down, or bass, bass, down, down, up, down, up, down, or bass, bass, down, up, bass, down, up, down. So we can even try that through that whole part that way. We have C, E minor, C, D, G. Like I said in the recording though, it almost feels like they changed to the reggae feel in that C, D. So they have the C, E minor, you can switch to reggae feel, C, D, G, kind of working it through that way. And then from there, then we'll be going into our last chorus. So now our C, and if you wanted to, you could even take that reggae feel and apply it to any of these parts, actually, if you dig on that. C, D, da, da, G, or other licks or other strum patterns that work too. the end to make people clap. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Move My Way by the Vamps. So good luck.